Manila Film Center. It started with a dream, and that dream was to make Manila the cultural center of the East, a city that could compete with France and its Cannes Film Festival. The Manila Film Center was built to host the 1982 Manila International Film Festival, housing a 360-degree theater, film laboratory, and film archive center. What began as the ambitious vision of First Lady Imelda Marcos is now one of Manila's most haunted buildings. For Imelda, the Philippines was in a strategic position to be an international marketplace for films. Knocking some sense to have a Manila International Film Festival. The contractors had given less than 3 months to build it. Construction was non-stop, with 4,000 laborers working 3 shifts every 24 hours. Work that should have been finished in 6 weeks was done in just 3 days. However, it was this rushed timetable that caused the ultimate tragedy, which remains shrouded in mystery after all these years. On November 17, 1981, at around 3 a.m., scaffolding of the upper floor of the film center collapsed. Some of the workers were impaled on steel bars, some were completely buried in rubble, while others were trapped in quick-drying cement from the waist down. A number of people fall from a great height, sustaining major injuries and death. It is said that this event claimed the lives of 168 people. Legend has it that, as the news of this shocking event reached Imelda, her focus immediately shifted to focus only on her tight deadline. From distance, you could see people in stretchers being carried out, frozen in cement. They were still digging out people out of the cement, which was not completely hard. And there was a guy that they were trying to calm him, keeping him from going into shock. Imelda believed that rescuing the corpses would only delay her project. Thus, Betty Benitez, the project supervisor, ordered cement to be poured over the victims instead. Rumors say that around 168 men were buried alive. The press and official rescuers were only allowed access to the scene after 10 hours of the incident. Due to this delayed access, as well as the media blackout imposed under the Marcos martial law, there was no real record of the accident. However, rare footage of the incident has emerged, though it could only be shown after the Marcos government collapsed in 1986. The footage reveals a man half buried from his waist down. To avoid him to go into shock, volunteers sing Christmas songs to keep him awake. When he was finally free, after 10 hours, he was already dead. Stretchers carrying men covered in cement can be seen in the same footage. The show must go on for Imelda. The film center opened on schedule with the first ever Manila Film Festival in January 1982, hosting Hollywood glitterati such as Brooke Shields and George Hamilton. The souls of the people claimed to have died in this tragedy are said to have become trapped within the center, just as their bodies are trapped in their cement tombs. On the morning of the opening, January 18th, as early as 5 a.m., several Igorots performed rituals, telling any lingering spirit that they must cross over to the afterlife. Despite of the rituals, many believe that they still haunt the building. Cries and moans, strange mysterious winds, and shadowy figures are heard, seen, and felt within the building. During the time when the center acted as a foreign affairs building, employees were often spooked, saying they heard strange, eerie sounds when no one was around. During the premiere opening, the usherettes, who came from exclusive girls' schools, started smelling something oddly awful backstage. Almost all of them felt something cold blowing on their skin. Their skin tingled at a strange presence. According to other stories, the deceased workers showed themselves to their colleagues, or even to the guests. Few months later, Betty Benitez, the supervisor, died in a freak car accident. Many allegedly said that it was the victims taking revenge. A note was sent to Manila Film Center, supposedly claimed that the spirits said, "Betty is with us." Despite the festival's success, a curse seemingly hung in the building and the festival itself. Moving forward, it suffered a financial setback. The $5 million subsidy allotted for the festival was disapproved by then Prime Minister Cesar Virata. Declining in earnings from these films were not enough to pay for all the debts incurred. When the 1990 earthquake happened, the center was abandoned after it was declared unstable. In the late 90s, there was gossip that one of the performers of the show was murdered and her body dumped on the steps. The ghost of the performer reportedly joined the ghosts that started haunting the area decades earlier. It became a reminder of a glorious time when Filipino films took center stage. For others, it is a symbol of the Marcos dictatorship. But as it stands, the ghosts' legends of Manila Film Center continue to live.